Hello, everyone. If we look at Parshat Noach, a theme that seems to be consistent through the Parsha is the role of man. How will man act when he's placed in the earth? And the beginning of the Parsha shows off that man was corrupt. Kimala ha'aretz chamas, the pasuk says in Perek Vav. Man was corrupt, and for this reason, God decided to destroy the world. Now, when we view this holistically, the Ramban says on this that when man was corrupt, this corruptness, this act of Hamas, was the seal that created this din, this gezerah, that the rest of the world would be destroyed. That man was corrupt. Man didn't hitalech b'derech Hashem, and for this reason, man was determined to be destroyed. Now, if we continue in the parsha, interestingly enough, we have a pasuk which highlights the exact opposite, what man should do in this world. And we state later on in Perek Tet, Shofech dam hadam ba'adam damo yishafech, ki b'tselem Elokim asa et hadam. Man is created b'tselem Elokim, and man has this potential to be able to recognize, to be godly in some senses, to be able to follow God's ways. This is man's potential. And for this reason, when man spills another man's blood, there's all this negativity that comes about, and all these reasons for these different dinim and gezerot. But particularly when you have Hamas and you have this open and free-for-all violence and destruction and corruptness, it leads to this immoral society. So for that reason, the world was destroyed, as we brought down in Chazal. Now, to continue on this path, the end of the parsha has another interesting point that the Ramban comments on. In Perek Yud, we read about Nimrod. It says that Nimrod heichel liot gibor ba'aretz. He was the first one who was, so to speak, gibor ba'aretz. The Ramban comments on this pasuk, stating that Nimrod was following in the path of the previous generation, in the sense that when we have the pasuk ba'enosh, the Ramban writes, Ki b'mei dor enosh hu chal. When Enosh was around, he was the first one, according to Rashi, who was an Oved Avodah Zarah. He was the first one who started to realize that there's a different God in the world, perhaps. He was the first one to be able to deny this concept that God was a creator and look to other deities. Now, this process started with Enosh, and the Ramban continues in his commentary saying that while Enosh might have started this, Nimrod was one who continued in this path and led to the Dora Plaga, the deluge that came and wiped out the world. For the reason of their Hamas and oppression and immoral society, immediately reverted back to being immoral. The society did not learn from their mistake. And Nimrod continued to not be following B'Tselem Elokim, to continue this process of not recognizing God in the world and not mitalech b'derech Hashem. Bereshit and Noach are setting up this pattern for a man to be able to realize his role, the importance of his role, and the Ramban highlights this through these points in his commentary. Hopefully we can all internalize these messages and be wholesome to God in all our ways.